Hey everybody, welcome back to the Nerdy Brewer. It's been a while since I've had a video out, so I wanted to make sure that this one was extra juicy for you. It's summertime, so that means sunblock, bikinis, fixing your AC unit, and of course, lighter toned beers. So to get things rolling this 2022 summer, we're going to be doing a movie classic, one of the most terrifying movies ever made, Jaws. We all know the sound. We all know what it means.
Shark!
In 1975, Steven Spielberg took on the almost impossible task of shooting a movie about a giant killer shark that goes on a rampage. Let me tell you, shooting movies in water is extremely difficult, even more difficult in the 70s.
I was the only person who basically insisted that we shoot it in the Atlantic Ocean.
Well, that's going to be a bitch to shoot.
To this day, the accomplished director still expresses how stressful and almost impossible it was to shoot the movie.
It was the hardest production I've ever experienced, and I still have nightmares about it.
Pretty much since day one, there were issues on set. Some of the actors not getting along, which caused lots of tension on set. The insane difficulty there was not just shooting on water, but the fucking ocean. And to top it all off, the shark almost never worked.
All over the island through the radio mics, you could hear,
The shark is not working. The shark is not working.
These issues caused triple the shooting time and more than double the budget.
We were doing stuff that no one ever tried before, we were winging it.
One of the main problems was when Bruce was built.
Bruce, God, his name is my lawyer's name. I named the shark after my lawyer. He's still my lawyer, by the way.
It was tested in fresh water and passed with flying colors. But once they put the shark into the ocean, the circuits inside were being eaten by the corrosive salt water.
Oh, shit!
It was a joke among the crew that you didn't have to worry about this shark because it made so much noise and went so slowly that, you could get out of the water and you could get off the island before it could get to you.
It kept failing and failing and failing and failing.
All the while, they were struggling with keeping shots that took them hours to set up to stay aligned properly. But with the current and other boats in the distance, they constantly had to reset.
We would get things fastened down and whammo, there'd be a sailboat in the background.
It had to be a clean horizon line. We had to make the audience feel as isolated as the cast on that little 51-foot boat. We had to wait for these sailboats in the middle of the summer to go by.
Day after day was getting more and more difficult, to the point where Spielberg kept having anxiety attacks at night due to the constant threats of getting fired, and talked from the studio saying he'd never be allowed to work on a movie again.
You do not hand in crap like this! I should fire you and burn down your friggin' house! I am this close to raping you!
It seemed like the end was near for the movie and all who worked on it. However, they kept their wits about them and carried on until the job was done. And wouldn't you know it, the movie was a colossal hit. Breaking records in the box office and opening new doors to the cast and crew who bled to make it all happen. The movie did so well that it continued to be screened at theaters from June all the way to fucking December. The immense success of the timeless classic basically paved the way for Steven Spielberg's career. He went on to make more and more box office hits like E.T., Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park, Saving Private Ryan, the list goes on. To this day, Jaws has put the fear into going into the water for some beachgoers.
Michael! Did you hear your father? Out of the water now!
Some of the most iconic scenes in the movie don't even show the shark. One of the scenes is just talking about the USS Indianapolis, which actually did happen. These iconic scenes were beautifully constructed and performed. but also had to be created quickly because the shark was never working.
Piece of shit!
This level of creativity is just too hard to come by these days, since it's all mindless CGI, writing that's as good as a 4-year-old doing show and tell.
Have you ever had a dream that you could...
And the constant jerk-off of nostalgia.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
But with that said, let's make some beer. As said before, summer is great for lighter tone beers, as we all know. Easier to put down, plus you can have more. So for this video, I've decided to do a Red Pilsner. Lighter tone, of course, and also just to give it a little characteristic of the movie Jaws. For the grain bill, it's going to be pretty simple since it's a Pilsner. We're going to do 10 pounds of Pilsner for the base, 1/4 pound of Crystal Malt 60 just for color, and then another 1/4 pound of Victory Malt to give it a little more flavor. For the hops, we're going to be doing 1/2 ounce of Warrior at 60 minutes of the boil, 1/2 ounce of Hallertau at 10 minutes of the boil, and then 1 more 1/2 ounce of Hallertau at flame out. Now for the yeast, I really wanted to speed things up and not have to worry about the hotter summer temperatures messing with my fermentation, so the yeast I used was one I've been hearing so much about, a Norwegian-style yeast called Kveik. Now the reason I went with this yeast is it loves to ferment in hotter temperatures, so you don't have to do the extra work of keeping it at a proper colder temperature, and it works really fucking fast. Alright everybody, well that does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button so you can keep up with my upcoming content. With that said, thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay nerdy, my friends.
Hey, you can't go there, you stupid bitch!